Hey, what's up guys? This is PokerXpress, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. Let's jump straight into the action.
He's done.
3.2 million.
So does Mr. Kellett.
There you go. 6.4 in his bag. Stuart, is he going to go for the double at the end of the night? Jack 8 under the gun +2.
Oh,
well, not with that face. 3.3 gun in the bag.
Yeah.
Patrick going to try and undo some of that last damage. King Jack of Spades, worthy of a raise from the hijack.
Come on, give us a clash end of the night.
Patrick, King 8 of clubs.
The sick thing is here, if he actually ships, he's going to get a lot of respect.
Right.
Like one hand before the end of the day, but he does fold.
Daniel in the small folds, and it will be the two Party Poker pros to fight this one out if they so choose. And he's got the barking shark in clubs.
Come on. Get after him.
How about a 4, 5, 6 all spade flop?
He has defended, right? Loving that.
Yeah. Let's see some blood. Oh! Here we go.
Hello.
Tricky Trickett.
Right, we need a spade.
Patrick checks back. There's
here
the
we go.
spade.
To end the stream. What a life.
Now does Sam lead? He should be leading.
Yeah,
here,
I think
right?
he will.
And then Patrick, well, Patrick could do all sorts of funky stuff on the turn and river.
I think typically Patrick will flat.
Yep.
Like, I mean, obviously we have lots of semi-bluffs here. Hands like 6-7, 6-4, 7-8.
Yeah.
Even a hand like ace-deuce with a spade might elect to, like, bluff here.
Patrick will call.
Yeah, gonna go back call.
Now he needs to avoid our
Seven
jackpot
of
king
spades.
here.
Seven of spades is the jackpot card.
That is the jackpot card. Ace of spades.
Trickett might bust. Wow, what an end.
behind.
And he's gonna have to bet fold if he wants to stay in the tournament. That is.
Wow, what a gem of a hand to finish on.
Disgusting. Oh wow. Probably. Yeah.
In that case, he could
no, he's just decided on the sizing.
Right, he's gone 600.
Wow, and Pads is going to jam. This is pretty sick. I mean, the issue, I think, is would Patrick...
He says all in.
Yep. I mean, for sure is going to shove. Oh, he's not happy.
I think Sam gets away from this, you know.
He should, in terms of, would Patrick be savvy enough to turn ace-queen with the queen of spades into a bluff? Right. Does he even think that he needs to turn that into a bluff?
Right.
And, you know, other than that, what are Patrick's natural bluffs here?
That's what we didn't get snapped, so now I know I'm good. So I'll have a swig of my beer. I'm chilling. I got chips in a bag.
What would his other natural bluffs be? Like king 9 with the king of spades? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Does he? I mean, hand like that, does that check back the flop? Does it just c-bet?
He might. I mean, we already saw him check back some king highs against big blind defends.
Sam's.
What do you think, James? He's folding?
Maybe he just has like the king of spades in his hand. Ace-king with the king of spades.
That's what we said, that he could be turning into a bluff.
That's sick. Too sick. Aces. Aces or fives. Ace-3.
It's interesting because he has completely discounted the idea that he could check back 2 overs and a backdoor spade draw. He does make the call. Stands up. Knows it's probably a bad call.
Wow.
Well, what a huge hand to finish the night with. We lose Sam Trickett.
Come back with $1 million tomorrow. rather play cash tonight and have the light in.
There we go. That was kind of my thought. The cash game is there. It's looking him in the face.
If you enjoy our videos and would like to see more, make sure to check out the links in the description. Also, make sure to comment below what you would like to see next, and we will work on your ideas as soon as possible.
Well, usually when this guy 3-bets, he does it quickly. Here, it took a little bit of time. You just wonder if...
He just flats with the jacks.
He just flatted with it.
We're getting sneaky here in the late hours of this tournament. And wow, what a flop. 10, 9, 8, 2 diamonds. Fish the nut flush draw. Taylor an open and a straight draw and overpair.
This has potential to end right here on this hand. Wow.
Fish.
Check. How's it even possible?
Well, this pot could have got it in pre-flop. Could easily got it on the flop.
Could have got it in the flop as well.
It might still go in. You never know.
I don't think so. I think it's going to get bet and called.
Yeah.
That is 35 million.
70% pot bet on the turn here from Taylor.
Like it.
Fish would, of course, call with ace high and the nut flush draw. Pot then swelling here. And river the diamond,
Wow.
queen of diamonds.
And the straight.
Yeah.
Hello, darling.
Taylor with the straight. Fish with the flush.
Of course, there is the possible full house out there, and you wonder if Taylor bets big.
Well,
If
Taylor
the
has
fish
bet
will
big.
just call.
That
Wow, I bet
100.
100 million. Almost a pot-sized bet. Now, do you just call here? You probably do.
I think he has to just call, Mike. As you said, there's a full house there. If you shove here, you make a... I mean, the straights are supposed to fold, right?
Yeah, but he could have queen 10 just as easy as...
All in.
Well, he has moved all
Wow.
Raise all in.
He has done it.
in.
He's
Taylor
hoping
doesn't
he's got the
flinch.
straight, just like he does.
Well, the argument here is obviously Fish never has a set of 8s, 9s, or 10s because he checks back the flop. Doesn't have the 2-pair combo. So, yeah, the only house he has, I guess, is 10 queen, which makes the jam a bit more appetizing because Taylor then has to call with some flushes.
250 total.
So the only full house
Can I get
Fish
a
can
count,
have,
please? Sure.
well, it's queens full and 10s full of queens.
292.
At first I thought maybe a shove would be a bit rash, but
I'm
I
sorry,
like it here.
293.
He's going to say after this hand.
So you think it's a pretty easy lay down the straight?
I think it's a harder laydown now because it just doesn't have any houses. And how many flushes does he shove? If he shoves the nut flush, we know.
293.
If he had a jack flush, he probably bets the flop with that combo draw. Same with the queen flush. Well, queen flush you can't have because queen's on board.
Well,
So
it's 200 million more.
that's a good fold.
He makes a good lay down.
$130,000. Too hard to. He put me on ace king when it come. He put me on ace king. When the ace come.
9-8 of spades for Christian in the cutoff. Opens Anton with the king jack of spades on the button.
Yeah, we saw him flat this sort of hand before. Expect him to do the same thing. Maybe he does change it up. You could consider 3-betting, applying pressure to Christian, leveraging the chip leader. You hate to ever really 3-bet fold a hand as good as king jack suited, especially when we can play it in position. James getting a great price. King deuce suited, obviously a little dangerous anytime you have king or ace high in these spots. You have to tread very carefully.
Well, I'm only playing for fun, really.
3-handed to this flop. Deuce in the window. It comes 9-4 deuce top pair for Christian. Anton backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw.
Yeah, let there be range. Sort of wide open for Anton saying, all right, boys, well, I'll bet this board then. No problem. I'm sort of wide open. What did I flat with? Was it 9-8 suited himself?
James also with a backdoor flush draw.
Pretty difficult for James. I'd probably just consider calling here. 6 million. Turn a little equity. How about that? Or just fold. I mean, raise would have been an ultimate disaster. Christian can play his hand quite easily. Top pair. Backdoor spades as well. Just call.
The turn is the 6 of spades. Flush draws for both. Anton's being the better one.
And again, it is now sort of decision time. If we think that Christian is weighed heavily towards just a stubborn ace-high holding, 2 barrels makes a good amount of sense considering the equity we have with that flush draw.
He's going to fire. Looks like 24. Massive pot developing between our 2 big stacks.
Christian trying to make sense of this. What would he be unloading 2 shells with? Did he turn some equity that he can semi-bluff with? And that is a cause for concern when we have just the 9-high flush draw. You may give him credit for just that. Clearly, we're not going anywhere.
More than 79 million in the middle. The river is the queen of spades. It's a flush for both.
Oh. Wow.
How much does Anton look for here? Another absolute cooler.
just has to
Yeah,
call.
the check snap call. The bet was for 45 million.
It doesn't fill out that well otherwise.
Unusual. It's unusual. It's an unusual style. But that sweater is swagged out. I mean, when they get another shot on that, I mean that's probably like a, you know, it's, not even gonna guess because I'll probably embarrass myself. You know, that might be over 1,000. Who the hell knows these days?
Mustard's raised, defended.
Look at this.
Yeah,
look at
cool.
the arms. That is beautiful. The front looks kind of like Versace-esque, but the arms look just nice.
Meanwhile, Roberto does flop the middle pair, backdoor hearts was the ace-high gut shot to Broadway.
Forgetting that.
Tom keeps forgetting because
Yeah,
such a grinder is grinding in the booth.
Yeah.
This is it. So he's keeping one eye on his tables, one eye on our table.
It's you know, it's a blessing and a curse. Playing on an iPhone 5, if anyone wants to know, on the old software, so on the old iOS, so it's very slow.
What are we in, a satellite?
2 satellites.
Well, heart on the turn. Good news for Roberto. Picks up a flush draw.
Must have bet the flop small, I'm assuming, right?
It looks right. We've got 10 bigs in the pot, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I would keep going with this hand, to be honest. This is a good barreling hand.
Right, and we've seen Roberto as the kind of guy who maybe might overfold some situations as well, right? So it's even keener spot to be bluffing.
Ace-King seems too strong to have as a bluff, and Ace-10 is a bit below that, and I think this is a really good bluff. And
once more.
In a very nice calling spot. When you call the flop, you're pretty unhappy, like, because you know future streets is going to be so difficult. You really want this flush draw just for backup. You feel a lot better.
So 110,000 was called by Roberto, and the King of Hearts on the river. Could we choose a better card? Broadway for Muster, flush for Roberto. Check raise incoming.
I reckon Muster will find the fold.
Right, obviously it's quite plausible Roberto can have a flush here.
Find a check.
Queen or Jack of Hearts. Queen or Jack X of
Check.
Hearts.
You have the flush.
I don't think the check's too likely.
No, he's going to bet 240k.
290?
290, going even bigger.
90.
Well, Roberto will do a little Hollywooding before moving his stack in here. And Phil Muster with less than 900 behind. And Roberto using a time bank on
Yeah,
this one.
wise. This is wise. This is a worthy spot for a time bank chip. 219 he bet. Okay. I thought he bet 290. I could have sworn he says 290.
I thought he said 290 as well. Roberto reaching for chips less than all in. This may well get called.
Yeah, I don't think you can shove here. Because if you put yourself in your opponent's shoes, like, how many hands can they call with?
Well,
they're going to be hating their life with everything that isn't a flush.
Getting more than 3 to 1.
It kind of has the best possible bluff catching combo, other than having maybe a heart with it or something. But
right, I guess having the Queen or Jack of Hearts in your hand would be the best.
what better hands can you have than this that are worse than a flush? Nothing. So. But I think he'll find the fold just because it seems like a pretty wild bluff to be making. He's made the call. No, whoa, that was a buck there. I gotta go in like 3
He
or
does
4
make
minutes.
the call.
Yeah, he's kind of got the best hand he can cool with, I think.
Roberto then.
Roberto's
big
got
pot for
enough
him.
of a rep to have some bluffs still. Some guys you might kind of find it.